So we are starting off on a new vlog and it is nighttime, as you can probably tell. I figured I would start this vlog here because I need to start just picking up my camera when the mood strikes me and not waiting for like the perfect moment. So here we are, I'm in my bed and I've just done my nightly routines of like getting all of my stuff prepared for tomorrow, meaning like getting dishes cleaned, getting food put away, and doing my skincare routine. My face is nice and clean and moisturized. I also was able to clean my room for the most part today, so that was really nice. And I also have fresh hair and everything, so I feel really like I'm setting myself up for success for tomorrow. And I will say, for the past few months, I have been feeling so out of control and like overwhelmed. And I feel so many of my, I don't even want to call them responsibilities, but just like things that I want to do and that I know I should be doing, but I'm not doing. I've been feeling them all just pile up on me day after day after day. And I just know that if I continue to let things go further, they're just gonna get worse. So I'm like, you know what, let's start today. Let's start right now and turn things around and get my life together and get some just like, you know, energy back into the things that I love to do. So here we are, and I have started actually reading a book, and funny enough, it's on my Kindle. I don't actually have my Kindle with me, so I've been reading it on my iPhone, and this book is called Almost 30. Let me see if I can find the details for this book. And it's by Lindsay Simkick and Krista Williams. And this is actually an ARC that I've gotten from NetGalley. And I'm trying to get back into NetGalley. I'm trying to read more ARCs. I'm trying to kind of like get ahead on books like I used to. I feel like, you know, like 3, 4, even 5 years ago, I felt like so much more connected to the book community and like more connected to what was going on in like the bookish sphere, not just online but also in like publishing. And so I'm like, you know what, I got to get back to that. I need to like keep my finger on the pulse, know what's coming out, know what I should be excited about, and help you guys figure out what you should also be excited about. And I just like have not been doing that for the last few years. I will say, like, I have had a NetGalley account and I just have not used it at all. So I really want to get back into that. I have quite a few ebooks and like audiobooks that are out from NetGalley right now, and I really want to prioritize those going into the next few weeks. So we're starting off with that one. It's like a nonfiction book really centered around discovering yourself and trying to like figure out your life in your late 20s to like early 30s, like that transition period. And because I'm 29, I'm turning 30 next month, I felt like this would be the perfect time to read this book. Maybe a little bit late, but I mean, better late than never. So we are starting that. I am like 5% of the way through that book. So far so good. I think that it's kind of like based off of their podcast, and I have no idea who these people are. I've never listened to this podcast, so maybe I'll have to do that as well and kind of let you guys know if it translates well from like podcast to nonfiction book. And then I'm also going to start this one, The Bennett Women by Eden Apaya Kubi. And I actually posted about this on my Instagram, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to start this book. I'm kind of in the mood for like a romance, something fun, something light. So I'm thinking that I might pick this one up tonight and at least start the first few pages. And yeah, I feel like that's everything so far, but I've just like really felt so many things just piling up on me lately, and I need to get back on track. And this also includes getting back into writing, because I have just felt this really like this sense of dread about writing lately. And I was listening to Emma Chamberlain's podcast, and I'll link this episode down below, but she was talking mainly about like the fear of like getting started, or like the fear of like getting back into the things that you love. And I have been experiencing that so hard lately, and it just feels like, as much as I love writing and as much as I want to get back into it, it feels so daunting and so just like impossible to get myself back into, and very intimidating. So I've just been like really struggling to get back into the swing of writing. So I definitely want to do that as well. I know that this will not be solved in one vlog, but hopefully we can kind of get this kick started and you guys can come along with me. So I think that's going to be it for me tonight, but I will see you guys tomorrow.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild.
So I have been pretty productive so far today. I was able to make a new intro and a new outro for my channel, and I'm really excited about it. I haven't had a new intro and outro in like well over a year, maybe even 2 years. So we are gonna get back into things, and it's gonna be kind of like a fresh start a little bit. So I hope that you guys enjoy the intro and outro. I think it'll be really exciting to try it out. Probably have already seen it by now, but just know that today is the day that I made the intro and outro. I've also been watching some of my, some of the videos that I've put on my watch later. So kind of getting through that. I made breakfast and I ended up trying out this like breakfast pizza thing. I just use like this low carb tortilla and then do like 2 eggs. I do some turkey bacon and some cheese and then just like put it into the air fryer. And I think I put it in for about 5 minutes. I probably should have put it in for like 6 minutes because I feel like it was just like slightly underdone in the middle, so I had to put it in like the microwave. But yeah, I think like 6 minutes at 350 would have been perfect. I also have my coffee right here. I've been drinking it out of my new mug for the last like few days. I got this from Marshall's and I love it. Also, I didn't tell you guys, I got a haircut and I should probably show you guys what it looks like. I had my mom cut off about like 3 to 4 inches of length off my hair because it was so damaged. Around the time of the election, I ended up bleaching my hair, and I did some like kind of balayage highlights a little bit. It didn't turn out very good. It was fine. It wasn't like bad. It just like wasn't that cute. So ever since then, my hair has been so damaged, and I've actually dyed it back to like my really dark brown, which is my natural color. And so it's just been super damaged ever since. I was like, you know what, before my birthday at the end of March, I want to get it cut, and maybe it'll grow out a little bit by my birthday. But yeah, it's so much healthier now and it looks a lot better, I think. So I do have slightly shorter hair now, which is fine. And also my hair's been growing really fast lately, so that's good. Also today is the beginning of spring training for baseball, so I'm going to be watching the Dodger game today. I'm not a Dodger fan, I'm an Angel fan, but this is the first game of spring training and I'm going to watch it. It's going to be really great. I just have the volume turned off and I'm going to be listening to some music and also reading a little bit of my arc that I was talking about yesterday, which was almost 30, I think that's what it's called. So I'll just be sitting here on the couch watching spring training, reading my book, and drinking my coffee. Made a little smoothie for lunch today. It's like been my favorite smoothie, and basically all I do is I take the pack of like mixed berry frozen fruit. I get it at Walmart, and I add a little cup of Greek yogurt. I do the strawberry Greek yogurt. And then I add in a cup of the light orange juice. I can't remember the brand of it, but it's really good. And I do a frozen banana, or half frozen banana. and it's perfect. It's like literally the best smoothie ever. But I think going forward, when I do my next round of smoothies, I'm going to get frozen spinach as well, because I think that it might help with making this a bit more filling. So I think we're gonna get frozen spinach, and if they don't have that, then just regular spinach, obviously, but like some sort of like food that's really high in fiber that will help me stay a bit more full, because this is fine, but like I just want a little bit more. And so I'm having this for lunch, and then I might also make a little tuna sandwich at some point. I'm not sure, but that might be more of like my midpoint meal snack thing. You know what I mean? So that is what I'm having for lunch today. It's so good. Literally the best smoothie ever. Okay, so it is Friday morning. It's literally, let's see, 9:20. And I need to finish this book in one day, because I cannot renew this. If you want to see, I'm going to manage loan, renew loan, watch. We were unable to renew your loan. This title is no longer in your library's collection, which means that I need to finish it. And I am currently 30% of the way through. I only have 8 hours left, which means I read it at 2 times speed. I have 4 hours to read this book, which actually should be doable. So what we are going to be doing today is finishing this audiobook. I'm on chapter 17. It's really, really good. It's incredible. It kind of reminds me of that one book that was like pretty viral like a year or so ago. Was it the one, who was it by? Rebecca Ross. And I didn't really like it, but everybody else loved it. This book reminds me of that book. If I can, I will put a picture of it, but I can't remember the title of this book. And this one is so good. It also kind of reminds me of the book The Dark of the West, which I really like. So, I don't know. So far, so good. I'm really enjoying it. I also made myself breakfast already. And I made myself a little iced coffee in my new mug, which I love. I have literally not used a different mug all week. I'm just obsessed. It actually kind of reminds me of Bridgerton. One of my friends said that it reminded her of Sabrina Carpenter, which I also see, and it also reminded me of Sabrina Carpenter when I bought it. But it's definitely giving Bridgerton to me also, like the Bridgerton blue and like the bows. I feel like it's very hyacinth. I don't know. But anyway, that's what we're doing today. Drinking my coffee, reading my book, playing some games on my phone, because that's what I like to do when I listen to an audiobook. Also probably have to go clean the kitchen, and I have to do laundry. I'm looking at my laundry basket and it is like full, basically overflowing. So yeah, we got to do some laundry. But yeah, that's my morning today.
As the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun. As she puts her hand in mine, we wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
So it's been a bit, it's been a while, and I have so many things to update you guys on. Currently, today is Wednesday, and it's in the morning. I literally woke up, washed my face, did everything I needed to do, made my coffee, made my bed, everything. Feeling really good today, and I have finished so many books since we last spoke. And actually, I have completely recovered from my 5-star dry spell. Like, that was, we are officially done with that era. We are officially in kind of like the clear. I feel so much more confident in like the books I'm reading and like the books I'm picking out, because for a long time I felt like I was just picking out the wrong books. Like I felt like it was me and not the books that I was reading, you know what I mean? I felt like I was just kind of like losing my touch on like being able to pick out good books. And I think also that was kind of the reason why I didn't feel like I was in the mood to pick up my vlog camera or like to film or anything like that, because I just felt so kind of like uncreative. Like it was like a total creative block for me to have run into so many mediocre books. And I started to just think like maybe I have lost my touch, maybe I just don't know what I like anymore, maybe this isn't for me. But but now I've read 2 5-star books in a row and I feel so much better. So I think I have to go all the way back to A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft, or maybe I did talk about this book, because this one was actually really refreshing. I did end up giving it 4 stars, but I will say that's pretty good for the fantasy books I've been reading lately. I feel like a lot of fantasy published nowadays is just like not very good. And I feel like it's all too influenced by Sarah J. Maas or like Jennifer L. Armentrout, or you know, like those, or like Fourth Wing or whatever. I feel like too often fantasy books published within the last 3 years have just kind of been carbon copies of those kind of books. And those books are not really my vibe. I much prefer like the fantasy books from 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I prefer when I feel like these, like the fantasy authors are more students of like Holly Black or Leigh Bardugo, or even Cassandra Clare. I'll even throw her in there. I feel like just nowadays the quality of fantasy has gone so far down that it's just like not a genre that I see myself picking up quite as much as I used to, which is crazy because I used to read almost like majority fantasy books. I ended up picking up A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft and I really, really enjoyed it. It definitely was very reminiscent of like the fantasy books I was loving in like 2019, 2018, you know what I mean? Like I yearn for those books, for, you know, like when fantasy was actually like a bit more substantial and had a bit more of like depth to it. Like if it's gonna be a carbon copy, I want it to be a carbon copy of a book that I actually think is good and like well written. I don't really like carbon copies of books that I find to be bad. So yeah, I really enjoyed that one. And then I ended up picking up Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan, and I very nearly DNF'd this book because I really hated it. It's kind of like a okay, this is where I have to be a little bit of a hypocrite, because I'm gonna say it's a carbon copy of a bunch of books that I love, but it's a very mediocre version. And it's almost offensive to even like compare the 2 books or compare this book to like Sally Rooney or, you know, whatever. But this author's also Irish, so I felt like the comparison is kind of apt. Anyway, this book I really did not like. I mean, I'll definitely go more in depth into my thoughts in my wrap up, but just like, I'm really sick and tired of reading about women who I pity. Where I'm like, all you want out of life, all you are vying for is a relationship, the attention of a man, and like that to me is just not relatable. And not even like, it's not even like to the fact where it's not relatable, it's like I actively pity you as a character if all you want out of life is the attention of a shitty man. Like that's all you want. At least with Sally Rooney books, I feel like, especially with like Conversations with Friends or whatever, like at least she gives her characters more depth than that. I didn't love Conversations with Friends, so maybe that's kind of where I went wrong. But even in that book, I feel like she, like the main character, has more in her life than just the attention of that shitty man. There's more depth, there's more like intrigue, and I actually like her as a character. This one, I don't like any of the characters. I felt like it was just, and there's like another critique that I saw some other people say, which I actually don't totally agree with, but I can see where they're coming from, where this book kind of felt more like a memoir and less of like a fiction book. And I kind of agree with that. And also I just felt like there was no like insightful pieces of anything in this book. I just didn't feel like I was gonna get anything from it. Nearly DNF'd it, but I did finish it, and I really hated it. Finally, over to our 5-star books. I ended up picking up 1-Star Romance by Laura Hankin, and I loved it. I loved it. It was so good. And this is one where I completely differ from a lot of the reviews for this book. I was a little worried because like the average review on Goodreads was pretty low. I mean, it wasn't like super low. I've read books with lower averages than this and loved them, so I shouldn't have been too concerned, but you know, sometimes I get in my head a little bit with the Goodreads reviews and I think too highly of them, but I'm glad I didn't listen to them this time because I ended up really loving this book. I feel like this would be perfect for fans of like Emily Henry or Ali Hazelwood, or you know, those kind of authors of romance books. And a lot of the criticism for this book was like it felt too much like women's fiction, and I'm like, A, what do you mean by that? And B, it had every marker of a romance book. It was just slow burn, and I feel like a lot of today's current romance reader will see a slow burn romance, or like see a romance where the characters don't immediately get together and hook up and like have sex or whatever. They'll see a book like that and be like, oh, that's not romance, that's women's fiction. All because the two main characters don't get together until later on in the book. And I'm like, that's not really what makes a romance though. Like, a romance is not defined by the characters getting together within the first 10% of the book and hooking up. That's just not, you know, they'll see like a slow burn closed door romance and be like, oh, not romance. That doesn't make sense. This is about an author and she has written a book. She's really proud of it. It's not a super popular book. It doesn't have a lot of reviews or anything, but she's still really proud of it. It's her first book. She is the bridesmaid to her best friend who's getting married, and the guy that she's getting married to has a best friend as well. They're all like really close. She's not super close with like the fiance. She doesn't really like him all that much. She sees him as a little bit like bumbling fool. And so she kind of like subtly writes him into the book, and he's like even more of a bumbling fool in the book and whatever, blah, blah. She finds out that his best man has read the book and rated her book 1 star on Goodreads. And that kind of sets off a chain reaction of like them not liking each other and them not really getting along and whatever. And I just really enjoyed this book. It's definitely like perfect if you're a fan of like book lovers, beach read, those kind of books. Definitely, if you love them, you will like this one. And then I ended up reading All the Parts We Exile, a memoir by Rosa Nazari. And I really loved this book. I think it's funny that 2 out of the 3 5 stars I've given this year have been memoirs, or have been nonfiction, I mean. Maybe this will be my nonfiction era. Maybe I'm not reading enough nonfiction and that's where I'm going wrong. I don't know. But I really enjoyed this one. I got it as an advanced listener's copy from Libro FM. And I just, this book was so beautifully written and so heartfelt, and was just really a lot about like this author and her relationship to her immigrant family, to her roots in Iran, and to her Iranian family members who live overseas. She is Canadian, and it was a really great book, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a memoir that centers somebody who is both an immigrant and queer. I think that that was a really interesting intersection, and to see the events of her life and, you know, the way that her queerness has informed her life and her being Iranian has informed her life, and you know what I mean? Like, it was a really good book, and I highly recommend it. I always love a good memoir, even if it's not like a celebrity memoir, even if it's a memoir about somebody who is still like fairly young, like she's a pretty young artist. I still find them to be really interesting and insightful. So really enjoyed that. And yeah, I feel like that's everything that I need to update you guys on right now. I have started a couple of books, but I think I'll let you guys know about them later. But yeah, I feel like that's everything for right now. And I think that this vlog will go until the end of today. I don't really know how much footage I have, so I'll have to check on that. But I feel like I've been filming this vlog for a little bit, so I'm like, you know what, let's kind of wrap this one up. Especially since I am less than a week away from my birthday. I'm turning 30 on March 25th, and we are living. I still don't really know how I feel about turning 30. I don't feel 30. I don't feel like I'm at that stage of my life yet, but I am. It's reality, it's here. But I am going to go to Disneyland for my birthday. We live in like the SoCal designated area for Disneyland. And so we were able to buy the 3-day passes to Disneyland for like the SoCal deal, which makes it super, super inexpensive to go. Like in comparison to like the actual tickets, it's a crazy discount. Like I think per day, it's $67 per ticket per day. You know what I mean? Like it's like, I think it's $67 per day for 3 days, which is kind of an insane deal. So we ended up doing 2 days for my brother's birthday back in February, and you're able to kind of split up the days if you want. So we're using our last day at Disneyland on my birthday. Well, not really on my birthday. We're doing it on the 28th, so it'll be a couple days past, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna celebrate my birthday at Disneyland. I haven't done that since I was 17. I have not gone to Disneyland for my birthday since I was 17 years old, which was 13 years ago. 13 years ago. I'll insert pictures because I do have them, but oh my God. I was like an actual like baby back then. So we will be doing that, and that'll definitely be another vlog. I know I didn't vlog last time I went to Disneyland. I feel like it wasn't super worth it, mainly because my Disneyland vlogs don't do well anyway. So I'd really just be filming it for myself, which is totally fine, and I'm gonna do that for my birthday, but it just didn't feel like it was like worth it to vlog. And also it did rain the entire first day we were there, like the entire day. Like it did not stop all day, which is so rare for California, so I really didn't think that would happen, but now I'm kind of glad that I didn't end up vlogging, because that would have been a nightmare to try to vlog. But yeah, so I'm super excited to go to Disneyland. I am so ready. I have my outfit idea, but I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna wear because I don't know what the weather's gonna be like. But I'm hoping that's gonna be warm, because then I can wear the outfit that I have planned. So I feel like that's everything I needed to update you guys on, and I will go over to my bed and tell you guys about the book that I am currently reading. Okay, like I promised, I am in my bed. We are here. We are chilling out. I can't decide if I want my hair in front or behind. I can't decide. Let's see. In front? Sure, why not? So I have currently been reading Sin Eater by Megan Campisi, and I've had this book for actual years, like for so long. I'm really trying to get back into reading the books that I actually own. I know I say this every single year. It is a never-ending issue for me, but I have been wanting to read this for a while, and I've been really wanting to read a fantasy book that I can listen to London Grammar while I read, because that just takes me back. It really does. It takes me back to like 2018, 2019, when I was reading books like The Young Elites or Furyborn or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I miss that feeling. So I figured this one might be the closest one I could get to a book that would remind me of that feeling. So far, so good. It's actually a little bit different than I thought it was gonna be. Like, the tone is a little bit different. I thought it'd be a little bit more serious, but the main character is kind of funny, which is like not a bad thing, but definitely just very different than I thought it was gonna be. So there's that. I'm not super far into the book. I don't even know if you could tell. And then I also started another book as an audiobook. I don't know why this feels so close to my face. I'm like, I want to like hold it all the way out here, but I'm like, that's kind of far. I started this romance audiobook called The Next Best Fling, and that's what it looks like. I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. I am not too far into this book, but so far so good. And yeah, I've just like kind of been in a romance mood lately, so that's what I've been reading a lot of. And yeah, so those are the two books that I'm currently reading. I'm also technically reading a book on my Kindle, but have I talked about that book yet? I don't think I have. I've been mostly reading that book while I'm at the gym. I will take it with me on the treadmill and just read for like 30 minutes or however long I'm on the treadmill. and that book is Almost Maybes by Anna P. And so far so good. I am really enjoying that one. I'm about 66% of the way through it. Actually, I think I'm more like 69 or 70% of the way through it, but on my phone it's just not updated yet and I don't have my Kindle with me. So yeah, and I have found that I really enjoy reading a book while I'm on the treadmill. It's actually a lot of fun. Now you are fully updated on everything I'm reading right now, and I am going to, actually I don't know what time it is. It's 9:30. So I think I'm gonna make breakfast soon, and I'm going to read a little bit more of Sin Eater.
She puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.